going to have a healing on our individuality in the sanctuary tonight. And as you can see, I'm up at my mom's house, and we had a little bit of excitement yesterday. She took a fall, and I think we're going to have to, or I'm going to have to take her to get her hand x-rayed tomorrow. We might have a few broken fingers, so that's what's been going on here. I did want to talk to you guys about something that I noticed when I came here yesterday, just to pass it along to you. I got here yesterday and I started having a backache and getting cranky. And then what I did was I realized that I was matching my mother's 91-year-old body. Never a good plan. So that's something to think about when you go visit your parents. Are you matching their bodies? And that's what I was doing. Once I recognized that, I was able to clear what was my mother's out of my space and then kind of find my space again. So I just thought I'd pass that along to you because it's something that I was aware of today. All right, now on to our healing tonight. It's individuality. I'm breaking it into 4 groups. And that helps me do the healing. So the 4 sections that I'm going to do for individuality tonight are personal individuality, your personal individuality, your individuality within relationships, your it's a tongue twister, your individuality in regards to your creativity, and then your individuality in regards to your communication. Okay, I got that all out. Now I'm going to set the energy with a prayer. As we cleanse and heal the temple of the soul, may it be with the blessing of divinity that it shine its countenance upon us and bring us peace in body, mind, and spirit. Amen. Okay, so how this works is everybody in the sanctuary, I put together in a composite so that I can read what are called matching pictures. And that allows me to find where everybody in the sanctuary is matching on a pain level. So in a way, it lights up pain for me in your space so that I can clear that. And that's how this goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the first section, which is your individuality in your personal space. So let's take a look at that. Two things really jump out at me: judgment and punishment for being individual, for being unique, for not matching a group agreement. The punishment is white, and the judgment is like shades of gray. So I'm working on that first. And what I'm getting to see is that because there's a history of having energy be thrown at you for being an individual, there's like a hesitation about it. There's a withholding sometimes of your individuality for fear of getting what's called whacked, energetically whacked, having somebody throw a really hard force of energy at you because you are doing something that they either can't have, don't know how to create, or don't approve of because they don't know how to create it. On the flip side of this is your individuality. When you do run your individuality, it's so delightful. The energy is so high, and it's what really makes you unique. Because what I see is when you run your individuality, you're really running like your inner radiance. And it kind of, your inner radiance is like its own thumbprint, the same way that your spiritual energy is its own thumbprint. It's very unique. And so when you're running that individuality, you're really running your radiance. I see a lot of pushback for personal individuality at work. If you're going to be a little worker bee, you're not expected to be too individual, depending on what your job title and hat that you wear is. But I do see pushback from work levels about being an individual. That's a dark forest green that's coming out. You know, what I was going to say earlier, or what I was looking at earlier, is that other people's anger at you for taking risks and being an individual makes you question taking risks. So I really want to get that anger out of there. And that anger is just part of the judgment against you doing something that's not already accepted or part of a group agreement. So when I move the anger out, what I just got to see, which is so cool, is that your joy is very individual to you. So like when you're running, your amusement, your joy, your enthusiasm, that's very unique to you. And that starts to get you vibrating in that unique vibration that you have. So your amusement and joy are very tied into that. One group of people that I see that can, not everybody's, but can cause some pushback on your individuality is family energy. So I'm going to do a little work to ground family energy out of your individuality. And that is because families have many different agreements, and a lot of them are all about matching energy. So as I work on family energy, a lot of competition is coming out. That's a white energy. And where I see some of the control energy coming from for your individuality is when your individuality has a really high energy vibration, which, remember what I was saying earlier, like when you're really running it, it's like light is radiating from you. And that is what it appears like family members resist, is that super high vibration. Because, you know, in a family, a lot of times the energy vibration will be set at the lowest common denominator. So whoever has low energy oftentimes is the person trying to set the energy for the house, for the family. And like I was saying, this isn't true for everybody, because some families cherish and support individuality. There's some funny pictures in there about if you're really going to affect you, not in a good way. I'm trying to get that energy out. Like if you're not matching other financial people or that information, the picture is that you're not going to be successful. Good. That was nice. At the end of that, everybody's energy got very clear, and I'm watching gold come in, but it was a nice clearing at the end for this section. So I'm filling everybody in for their personal individuality. And the next part I'm going to go to is your individuality within a relationship. This is kind of funny because when I look at it in like a romantic relationship, there's this level of where a partner wants some individuality from you, but not too much. Don't get way out there, just some individuality. So I want to clear the energy that tries to put a lid on how individual you can be. And this has to do with a partner's comfort zone. It's not like they're trying to intentionally mess with you in your path, but people get into a comfort zone and they don't want to have to change that. If you are somebody who's very individual, you're going to have a unique set of pictures, and a lot of times maybe your quest for freedom or something is more than a partner is used to handling. So that can be a lot of pictures for them. And so there can be some pushback there. And then I do want to add that some of you are fully supported by a partner or a spouse. So I didn't want it to sound like everybody's partner is that, but that was an energy that I was looking at. What I'm looking at is when you're in a relationship, there's a certain color that you'll feel comfortable wearing in your crown chakra with your partner. And that's very individual as to you guys and whatever you set for that. Then you have a very different vibration for your crown chakra when you're running your individuality. Now, what I see is that some of you can do that very successfully in both spaces. Run your individuality and then also be able to set your crown to a common color for your partner. And what I would say to that is that if you find that you have difficulty with that, you might have issues with trying to control energy. Oh, boy, this is like the white elephant in the room. um, uh, there are pictures that get put in your space by your partner that I'm going to clear so that you have your own space from this. That's really interesting. I saw a lot of mock-ups that don't get sent out because the vibration where you as a couple match is lower than the vibration of the mock-ups that you've made. So that's a great example of where your individuality gets dummied down to a lower vibration than what is really healthy for you and what your real individuality vibration is. So right now I'm working on clearing control energy, which I see tonight as a very dark charcoal energy. Some of it's a little grainy and crunchy. And you know how I was saying that what I see is that a lot of partners want some individuality from you, but not too much. What I also see is that that is why they were attracted to you in the first place, was your individuality. So I want to clear the energy that comes in and tries to control that individuality once it's admired by the partner. And so that you can have that characteristic and like keep it free, not let it be controlled. And you know that expression, relationships are work, I just really got to see how much work they are, because it's work to stay on top of other people trying to put pictures in your space, which is, everybody does it. But in a relationship, especially, you may have a partner that likes to try to help you or give you advice and things like that. And they can be putting pictures in your space and unknowingly be trying to program you. So this is why we clear that space out, because in fact, I want to remind all of you, you have all of your own answers. And if you will meditate and take the time to ask questions to your inner voice or even Supreme Being, you'll get your answers. Wow, that's really interesting. That filled in with the color of a lawn, like really rich green energy. And I'm going to bring in a gold sun. Nice. Okay. So the third space is individuality in your creativity. Wow. There's so much black energy trying to fight your creative individuality. It's kind of impressive how much black energy there is trying to stop your creativity. I would say, when I look at it as a whole, a lot of your jobs do not encourage individuality. And so there's a work energy that comes in here that I want to clear. Yeah, at work, like especially if you work in-house somewhere, there's very little space given for individuality. And I'll tell you, you can even find that out yourself if you go to wherever you work at your place of work, whether it's a cubicle or an actual room, an office, and go and set the energy for yourself and see how long that lasts. Because what you're going to find is that the energy of the office is going to come in and try to drop that vibration to get it back to where the rest of the office is at generally a lower vibration. But that is something that when you work in-house somewhere besides your own place where you can set the energy, that's something you have to stay on top of. And you pretty much have to do it every day. Reset the energy in your cubicle or in your office. Yeah, you would think that there would be, at least I would think, there would be a lot of encouragement for individuality and creativity. And there is in certain industries. But when I look at everybody as a whole, there is not a lot of encouragement for individuality in creativity. Yeah, I see a lot of energy coming from work, trying to keep you in a worker bee hat. Mm-mm. Supreme Being came in and started giving you a healing on your, hold on just a second, on your creative energy. There's a whole bunch of gray coming out of your creative energy right now, and it is the energy of people, it looks like trying to hold you down. The energy is very heavy as it comes out. Ooh, I just saw something really good that I want to work on. I just saw where you all have been whacked for your individual creativity. So I'm going to take a look at the auras and correct any whacks or holes. And the biggest place where people get whacked is at the back of the heart chakra. And I'm just saying this specifically for getting whacked for your individuality. People will whack you in all different places for different things, but tonight, this is what I see is people will do it behind your back and try to get you in your heart chakra, which is where your information on liking and loving yourself is. You're getting another amazing healing from Supreme Being. Okay, Supreme Being took you back to an actual scene. I got to see you in a scene like playing with sand at the beach. And that's the energy vibration of your individuality when you're playing by yourself and you're experimenting and creating adventures for yourself. So this is the vibration Supreme Being just brought you back to. And the energy that's being brought into you is like, I'm going to call it party vibrations. It's a whole lot of bright colors and an orange gold, and it's very festive. I like that a lot for your individuality and your creativity. Okay, the last section is your individuality in your communication space. Well, this is where you really get to put your mark on the world, is through your self-expression. And so the first thing I notice is that the throat chakra needs to be cleared out. There's a lot of energy. It's like a little dark plug of energy in the heart, the throat chakra, affecting your individuality and your communication. And interesting, a lot of what that dark brown is energy saying, don't tell the truth. You know, that's what's fun about saying hello to secret energy, like don't tell the truth, is that the minute you put your attention on it, if you're neutral, it busts up the game and it starts to actually release that energy of don't look. A lot of white is coming out of you all over right now. So that is unconscious energy coming out of your communication space. Oh, you know what else is coming out is a lot of yelling, like being yelled at when you were young for taking chances, being independent, being an individual. So I'm hearing a lot of yelling, like reprimanding, coming out of that fifth chakra. There is a real beauty to the energy of your individual communication. Just the energy is lovely. And I'm looking at it as like a clear medium blue right now. And part of what I see as the beauty of that communication is your compassion for other people. This is another space where I want to point out other people's pictures that sit in your communication space so that we can clear those and just create an open space for you. I'm also clearing your parents' energy out of your individuality and communication. And you know, communication goes two ways. So it's not just coming to you, it's also your communication out. And so I'm also going to give a healing to your communication with Supreme Being so that that is a two-way street. Oh, Supreme Being is giving you another healing, and this one is clearing rules. I love this. Clearing rules out of your individuality space. All right. That's being filled in with like an orange gold. So Supreme Being just said the best way to develop your individuality is to know thyself. And how do we know thyself? We do it through meditation, because the only way you can really get to know yourself is to calm the body down so that you can be quiet and go within. So this is why I'm such a big believer in meditation and am always trying to promote it. You know, running energy, that's what we call meditation, is running energy. So let me gather up all of your energy and start to fill you in. Getting a really nice gold in there, and the energy is very present time, like boom, right now in present time, your individuality. All right, good job. Let me close out that healing. May it be with the blessing of divinity that this healing on individuality in the sanctuary be complete. Amen. Okay. Let me just take a look at you for a minute. Well, I can tell you you're running more creative energy right now, a lot more. And the creative energy that I see being run is like raspberries, pink, little yellow. And you're still going to be releasing energy out of your throat chakra for a while because there's a lot of movement there. And I showed you that dark plug that you needed to clean out. So you're working on that. So those are just the after effects of the healing. But you did a great job. What we have coming up next is Seek and You Will Find next Monday night. And then next Thursday night is Body Beautiful, and it is on relaxation. So come prepared in comfy clothes. We'll do another relaxation meditation on our backs on the floor. So you can just curl up afterwards and go nighty-night. So that's what I have planned for you for the rest of the month. We're working on September right now. And I want to thank you for joining me tonight in the sanctuary for this healing. Got my eyes on you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Let's see, what night was it? It's Monday night is Seek and You Will Find. Okay, have a wonderful evening tonight. Bye-bye.